Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together, talk about movies, TV, and online content. Help answer the question, is James Cameron being sued for public likeness being infringed for Avatar the weirdest thing, the weirdest unexpected lawsuit this year? Probably.
I wouldn't want to give it that category because we're only 5 months into the year.
So far.
There's an odd story though, isn't it?
Yes. I'm your host, Ash Will be joining me today, Dylan Blight.
Happy to be here talking about James Cameron.
Yeah.
I never really do that introduction. I usually just start talking about whatever your thing is.
I get through my intro and then you answer the question.
Oh, that's right.
Which is something that you've been doing lately.
Just
do
it live.
So if you don't know if I got the story up. That would have been a helpful thing. But an actress is suing James Cameron for using a likeness as part of Natiri's design because, apparently she didn't.
You know what it reminded me of though? When I saw it the other day? The Lindsay Lohan Grand Theft Auto thing.
That's true.
Remember that?
That's a good point.
Yeah. She was like, they used my license. Right? No, she didn't win that.
What they sell?
I don't think, no, I don't actually remember. But my whole thing is like, I don't know. If you're in, it's just so, no,
she's blue.
Yeah.
You're not blue.
It's a stretch,
I would say. It's not like Sigourney Weaver and her character, who is very much looks like Sigourney Weaver.
No, it's a stretch. And also my thing is what are we, three movies in?
Yes.
Yeah. Why now?
3 movies / 15 years between since.
Yeah.
No, 17 years since the first movie.
Unless you've been living under a rock. If this was a real problem, probably would have realized earlier, I think.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. Anyway, on today's episode, we'll be talking about what's in our watch sheet, going over some film news, giving thumbs to trailers, and giving you this week's top 3. Kicking things off, we just finished watching, last week, Daredevil, Born Again Season 2, conclusion of the second season of the revitalized Daredevil series. Of course, we've been talking about it week by week over on All New Marvel Cast, our MCU podcast. Dylan, do you want to share your thoughts on Daredevil, Born Again Season 2?
Yeah, it's great. It's, I think, one of the better Marvel television series. It's much stronger than the first one, and overall has some really solid character work, and even like one big key decision that we discussed towards the end of the season, where I was happy they went the direction they did instead of following the trajectory I would have expected out of the show, to be honest. So, yeah, I would highly recommend it.
I think it continues to be one of the strongest things TV-wise the MCU has delivered. Really interesting back and forth. Obviously, the main conflict being between Daredevil and Kingpin. The series surprisingly relevant, especially in the early half of this season, where it felt like it was ripped from the headlines, despite it being filmed almost 12 months prior to all the events kind of happening over in the States at the moment. Yeah, it's fun. It's been a good time, some fun action sequences, and the season leaves off in an interesting place for the show to go forward. And we already know that they're working on a 3rd season. So all very exciting over there on Daredevil, Born Again. Go check out All New Marvel Cast. We've been talking about it over there. So I ventured out to cinema to see the first of many video game releases, I think. No, actually not the first. Exit 8 came out this year. Long came out this year. But this is one of the actual big ones. This is one of the ones with a significant budget. I went to see Mortal Kombat 2, a movie that was delayed from last year all the way to now. Of course, it's the sequel to the Mortal Kombat. This film actually fulfills the promise of Mortal Kombat. There is the Mortal Kombat tournament. The character of Shao Kahn from Outer World is challenging Earthrealm to be able to conquer it. They need to win 10 Mortal Kombat tournaments in a row. They're on the 10th tournament. So if the Earthrealm fighters lose this one, Shao Kahn will become, Emperor of Earthrealm, or have dominion over it. After last film, a lot of the Earth, a few of the Earth warriors were taken out. So the Elder Gods have chosen washed up action star Johnny Cage represents Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage played by Carl Urban. He is kind of the the focal. He's I guess, the main protagonist. He's the entry point for people into this
Wait,
film.
where's
So
our main character from the first film? Why?
Cole Young, he's in this film as well. He doesn't disappear. He is in this movie.
For 3 minutes?
No, I'd say that it's a little bit longer than 3 minutes. Interestingly, this film also tells the story of Katana, who is the daughter of she's the princess of Adania, which is a realm that Shao Kahn conquered before trying to conquer Earthrealm. She's been raised as the daughter of Shao Kahn in place of her father, who was the previous king, and has been trained to fight in Mortal Kombat. So she is really, it's Katana and Johnny Cage are the main two characters in this film, and get the emotional arcs and all the key moments. I had a fun time. It's not a fantastic movie by any stretch. I think there is especially towards the start, there's a lot of rough dialogue and setup that they're trying to get through. Anything prior to the actual Mortal Kombat tournaments kicking off and fighting, outside of they show you footage from Johnny Cage's action movie, Uncaged Fury, which looks pretty good. It definitely fits that ridiculous over the top 80s action vibe. But yeah, once the fighting actually gets started, it's quite enjoyable. There's not any incredible revelations or nobody has a really emotional arc, I would say. So if you're going in and expecting that, you're going to be disappointed. But if you want an excuse for a bunch of cool people to be fighting each other and shit, this is a movie. I would say probably the fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao is the highlight of the movie. But yeah, there's a fun cameo. Ed Boon pops up in one scene. There's some clear sets that they've used from the video games and that kind of stuff. There's one set where there's a poison pit or acid pit surrounding the platform where you're fighting on. That's one of the locations. Or once you go in and you see the stages that they include in the film, you're like, oh, that's from that level of Mortal Kombat. That's pretty cool. And stuff like that. But yeah, I had a good time. Also, again, Josh Lawson as Kano is fantastic.
He's honestly the only part I remember from the first film.
Yeah, he was a scene stealer in the first film, and he is definitely doing very much that this second film. Getting some, Carl Urban is holding his own, trying his best to keep control of the picture, but Kono does get some of the best lines, and Josh Lawson delivers some really good ad-libs as far as I'm aware. So it's fun. They're clearly setting up for a third film as well. Whether that actually gets made, I'm not sure, because it's hasn't quite hit its budget yet, as far as I'm aware, box office.
Well, they kept saying that it's a 3-movie thing. It's before the tournament, and then after the tournament is what I keep seeing in interviews that they've pitched it as a trilogy.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a third film. I'm sure. It's made $63 million on an $80 million budget weekend one, so they're probably going to break even plus. And it's not like they have anybody with a massive paycheck. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff. They do play some of the music from both the original movie and the video game. There's some cool there's a ton of Easter eggs in there for Mortal Kombat fans and that kind of stuff. So,
but if you've got characters,
no DC characters.
What's in the point?
Yeah. No, the Injustice movie is coming next, I'm sure. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I don't know how much people will love it if they've got no point of reference for Mortal Kombat, though. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's what I like. I haven't rushed out to watch it or anything. I thought the first one was perfectly meh, and even I know what Mortal Kombat is and everything, but I don't have any deep attachment to the franchise or anything. So.
Yeah, this movie is struggling to string a plot together. There's a MacGuffin that's included to give them a reason to do something between the actual Mortal Kombat fights and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they do have like in-depth storylines and that kind of stuff in the actual video games, but you have a lot of time in which to tell that story, especially the more recent ones and that kind of stuff. So, um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I think Carl Urban is really good as Johnny Cage. So yeah, I would say it's worth watching, which is what every movie wants to hear.
How often do you say a movie's not worth watching though? Let's be honest.
Not that often because
No.
I managed to avoid, which is maybe it's on me. I should watch more bad movies so I can say.
I think
So I
you
know
do
how
watch
good I got
enough
it.
bad movies, but
All right, let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. And I checked out the new release on Netflix, Remarkably Bright Creatures, a new film starring Sally Field and Lewis Pullman, which is narrated
Octopus.
by an octopus, yes. So Sally Field plays a widowed woman called Tova, who works as a cleaning lady at an aquarium at night, where she is left to alone and she talks to the octopus Marcellus about her feelings and her day and the gossip and that kind of stuff. She is dealing with the loss of both her husband and her own son and is not quite come to, terms with those two losses. Despite, and she's still living in the house they all lived in, but has been on the waiting list to go to like a retirement home, and she's tossing up whether to stay where she is or go to that retirement home. Meanwhile, a young drifter named Cameron, who's in a band called Moth Sausage, that's a thing, played by Lewis Pullman, comes to town. His van breaks down, so he needs like a small job to get some cash to pay for the repairs. Tova injures her leg and is unable to do cleaning. So Cameron is hired to work as the new janitor, and Tova and Cameron start to build this friendship. Cameron has come to town because he's looking for his biological father, who he believes has not paid child support his entire life and wants to get that money. So that's the setup. Meanwhile, all narrated and given commentary by the Alfred Molina voiced octopus Marcellus. I liked it. It's a fun time. It is it's one of those hope call kind of movies. Definitely, it's definitely flawed. Like there's remote romantic interests that are established that aren't really paid off or like explored in any sort of deep way, because it's the relationship between Tova and Cameron that is the core of the movie, and they're both of them, I guess, kind of getting past their grief / trauma of their past loved ones and that kind of stuff. But I thought it was very sweet. I think Lewis Pullman's really great. Sally Field is really good. They've got a really solid supporting cast of characters who get involved. Toba's got her bunch of friends that she is not completely, committed to, because she's still dealing with her own personal loss. She's kind of in a position where she doesn't really want to be a burden to anybody. But they're all just trying to bring her out of her shell and that kind of stuff. You've got what is the guy? Colin Meaney plays he runs the Shopway grocery store. He's just like the nicest guy, but also like really amusing and that kind of stuff. So he's a delight. But yeah, I thought it was a very nice little movie. Only 111 minutes, so a 40. Octopus looks really good. There's some solid laughs and that kind of stuff. So if you do worse things, then watch Remarkably Bright Creatures. All right, Dylan, you've watched the new second season of Worst Acts Ever.
I haven't quite finished it, but I watched, I think, everything but one episode, I think. But
Okay.
yeah, it sounds weird to say that I enjoyed the series, but I know I picked it for what I was looking forward to. What do you want to watch last week? It is just, each episode focuses on a horrific story from someone's ex or multiple people's exes. And there's some interesting ones in here, including, I think it's the second or third episode, is this guy who was actually on that, what was the show? 90 Day Fiance. some subtitle. The one where that guy was on that has no neck, that is memed quite a lot. And he has like the Filipino girlfriend or something on it. But he's a meme. That guy got turned into a meme. Anyway, that show. There was another guy on it, and it's just the wildest circumstance of how do these things even happen, where it's like he abused and beat up one of his wives, leaves her, gets married, has no older thing. And then he's like a month after being arrested and but before the court case is happening for beating up his current girlfriend, he's allowed on this show and is like filming it, even though he's got like a court case pending and all this sort of stuff. And then people are like, all these girls online because he's posting stuff like he's trying to build like his social media profile, I guess, based off the show, like all fawning over him, be like, oh my God, he's so hot. And all that. Meanwhile, there's like the woman who's got abused by him is like sitting around having to keep quiet because her lawyers, don't say anything until the court date sort of thing. But yeah, it's again weird to say that it is quite an interesting / good watch, but it is sometimes obviously quite horrific stuff that you're hearing about that's happened. Before anyone cries, not all men or something, there is an episode that is female to female. So, like bases covered.
Yeah, women are bad too.
Not all men, but most men, I think, as the series wraps up. We got
not all men, but some women.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you like crime documentary stuff, I did find both seasons of this on Netflix to be well put together, because it's a mix of like they do they have every episode always has interviews with the people who were abused, which obviously it's not someone telling the story for them, so that's something. And then they intercut footage that they may have from police body cams or like photography or something from when these people were together. And then for stuff they don't have, they do like little animated sections that play out as stuff, so it's not just people talking as well, sort of helps. But then obviously the usual stuff, interview of the cops and lawyers and whoever else was involved and stuff like that. But yeah, because Netflix crime stuff can be hit and miss, so I'd say this is good one.
Good one. All right. That's everything in our watch history. Let's move on to some film news. This is one story that I thought would spark some interesting conversation. After relaunching Marvel's Fantastic Four franchise with Fantastic Four's First Steps, director Matt Shakman and writer Josh Friedman are getting a shot at another high-profile RP. Sources tell Deadline that Shakman is set to direct an untitled Planet of the Apes movie at 20th Century, with Friedman penning the script. Shakman will also produce along with longtime Apes producers Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver. Plot details are being kept under wraps, other than the movie will mark a return to the Planet of the Apes, the planet where apes are the superior species ruling all. While not confirmed, sources tell Deadline that this will not be a continuation of the most recent pick, 2020's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but a new original story that Shakman and Friedman are developing. Friedman also penned the script along with Silver and Jaffa. Dylan, what do you think of, obviously, here we go. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was directed by Wes Ball and well received by critics. The film brought in $397 million at the global box office. What do you think of the director of Fantastic Four taking on a new Planet of the Apes?
Here's the thing. Problem with this is that if it's good, I'll eat my words. But my reaction is I'm sort of okay with just leaving it alone. There is just, because at the end of the day, I don't care if it's a new take on it or new story or what have you. We just had a really good trilogy, and then we just had a new film that it was meant to kick off a new direction. And now what? We're just going to pick up and go again? Like, I hate when they do. I hate when, if a franchise movie doesn't perform well enough for a studio, the reactionary thing is crunch that up, start again.
I can see that point of view. Wonder if this is a case of them coming to them and like, we've got this cool idea, let's do this, rather than we want to go in the new direction and do something else. I think it's good. I think obviously the last movie we really enjoyed, it was good. I don't know if I was going to say really enjoyed. I can't remember if we really enjoyed it.
I think we both enjoyed. I remember we both enjoyed it.
I liked it.
So.
I definitely liked it.
Didn't love it, but like enjoyed it.
But it wasn't as It wasn't like it detracted from the 3 movies
No,
prior.
but that said, I think that the 2 movies, the 2 War for the Planet of the Apes and whatever, Revenge? No, whatever. Anyway, those 2 are fantastic, and I think the James Franco, the first one, sort of is fine, but it wasn't. The first one wasn't anywhere near as good as the 2 that followed it.
Mhm. I guess my question is, like, what does this say about okay, so Matt Shakman is coming on to direct this massive franchise movie. What does that mean for Fantastic Four? Does that mean they're going to go with somebody else for the next movie, or is there going to be a large gap between that Fantastic Four movie and whatever they're going to do next with that Fantastic Four?
Probably, or they're just gonna stick them in the Avengers.
Well, yeah, they're going to be Avengers, so maybe they'll be a little bit oversaturated by the end of it. So maybe they feel
And
like
then
they
they got
need a little bit more
X-Men.
time.
Like, maybe they want to spread it out a bit more, so he'll have time.
That's true. I just feel like the major issue with the MCU is that they are having too much time between films.
People are like, I really enjoyed these characters.
I wish I could get more of them.
8 years later.
You think we got, what, 3 Iron Man movies in the space of, like, maybe 6 years? Now,
4.
we still haven't got a Shang-Chi
Captain America.
sequel, and that came out in 2021, so. My other question, I guess, is what does this say about Wes Ball? And obviously, he is currently making the Legend of Zelda movie. Does the implication that he's not coming back to do a Planet of the Apes film mean they're pretty sure that Legend of Zelda is going to be the thing he's been working on for the near future?
I presume so, surely. I mean, they're going to expect Legend of Zelda to be a massive hit, and I think it will be, unless it's a turd. But I don't think it would be a turd. And there is so much source material there for a multitude of directions to take sequels to that, especially not knowing how they're going to choose and what to cover in that first film. So, yeah, and if he wants to, and he's happy to do sequels, we know that. He's happy to stick around in the same world for some time, we know that. So,
yep. Obviously, because he directed the Maze Runner films. There were several of those all in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would seem that he's not coming back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And Zelda is probably the future. And you probably do want to punt those out as much as you can because those people are going to get older. And people aren't ready for a old Zelda or old Link.
Hey, listen, right? Ash. Sorry, that was a Zelda joke.
Okay.
A few fans out there.
Yeah. That small crossover of people who play video games and people who listen to this podcast. All right. Obviously, Cannes Film Festival is taking place at the moment. Lots of exciting, big, high quality films are being watched, but also the Cannes film market is taking place at the same moment. So there is a bunch of new projects being announced and casting news being dropped. So we like to cover all that in a segment called Would You Want to Invest? In which I give Dylan a bunch of details about different projects, and he tells me if you would partially invest, fully invest, or not invest in them, and history will be the judge if he is right or wrong. Are you ready for this latest iteration, Dylan?
Always ready.
Always ready. All right. Jennifer Kent has set sci-fi tale The Girl Who Was Plugged In as her next feature with Sophie Thatcher in dual lead roles. Details have been unveiled on the long-awaited third feature from Kent as Goodfellas gears up to launch international sales at the upcoming Cannes market. Kent has also rewritten the script, which was adapted from the 1973 sci-fi fiction novella by American writer James Tiptree Jr., real name Alice B. Sheldon. Winner of the Hugo Award for Best Novella in 1974, the surreal dystopian tale revolves around a woman who loses her soul to technology in an effort to be loved. Thatcher plays disfigured, suicidal young protagonist P. Burke, who is hired by a mega tech corporation to virtually operate a beautiful but brainless flesh body called Delphi, grown in a lab with the sole purpose of influencing the masses and selling products. As Delphi's star rises, P. Burke becomes enthralled by her and descends into a tech psychosis with disastrous consequences.
Wow, that was a lot. Yep, all in. I mean, the synopsis is intriguing enough. Sounds like some weird body horror nonsense. But obviously, Jennifer Kent is a director to watch. We've had two fantastic films with The Babadook and then The Nightingale. And that Nightingale came out, fuck, I swear, like 10 years ago, to be honest. It feels like it's been that long.
Yep.
But yes, shout outs to Aussie's Jennifer Kent.
Yeah. Is Sophie Thatcher like getting typecast as these robot
I don't think
escorts?
so. I don't think so. What are we? How many has she done?
One.
One. Yeah.
She
So no.
robot in Star Wars in Book of Boba Fett? No, she was a human, right?
No, that was human.
She was a cyborg, yeah.
Yeah.
Doug Liman has been set to direct Eddie Redmayne and Miles Teller in Star One, which Black Bear NCA financing are launching at the Cannes market. Based on a true story, the film follows two mismatched CIA agents, one charismatic and the other straight-laced, who must work together to execute a top-secret mission, a treacherous journey across thousands of miles of enemy territory to covertly deliver arms.
Sounds like some nonsense that Eddie Redmayne will end up overacting in if he's not held tight. But sorry, I forgot to say for the last one, full invest. This one, partial invest.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Sorry, I can't remember.
Invest.
Just partial invest for this one, full invest for the Jennifer Kent one.
Which one do you think is playing the charismatic one, and which one's playing the straight-laced one?
I'd assume Eddie Redmayne's playing the charismatic one, which is why I'm scared of it.
No, Teller's playing the charismatic one.
Really?
Yeah, and Redmayne's playing the straight-laced one. I think that makes sense.
That might help.
It's just Eddie Redmayne playing the Jackal guy, right?
Yeah, it's fine. If this is a Jackal version, then sure, I'm down. Okay.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Kelly Marie Tran, Ilya Isoliris Polino, Ashley Reyes, and Jamie Newman are starring in Quads and the Kicker. Ranch Productions has started principal photography on the neo-noir thriller, written and directed by Heidi James, based on or inspired by the off-Broadway play Never the Same Rhyme Twice by Andy Brewster Block. Set within the shadowy world of female poker grifters and featuring original songs, the movie follows a once loyal sisterhood as shifting alliances and a triple con fracture the bond that once held them together.
That was vague and interesting at the same time, I guess. So, partial invest.
I feel like most of these are vague. Most is great. Very rarely are like super specifics.
Yeah, I mean, if it is vague, but then the director or actors are interesting, that sort of helps. But sometimes with stuff like that, I'm like, I've got to have a hook, got to have something to grab onto, you know.
All right, on to the next one. Academy Award winner Jessie Buckley and nominee Paul Mescal, the stars of Chloe Zhao's Hamnet, are reuniting in Hold On to Your Angels, written and to be directed by Oscar-nominated filmmaker Ben Zetterlin. Plan B will produce with Alex Coco under his Wrapped Film banner. The Hot Project will be introduced to buyers at Cannes Market. Set on the edge of South Louisiana, Hold On to Your Angels follows a hellhound outlaw and a ferocious shepherd of lost souls who fall in catastrophic love as their crumbling Bayou paradise drags them under.
Fully invest because I've seen their chemistry and ability to work together before. So yes, please. Are you going to watch Hamnet? Do you reckon? At some stage?
Probably someday. Right? All right.
Would you invest?
What?
Would you invest in watching Hamnet?
Yeah, I'll invest in watching Hamnet when it comes to a streaming service. I don't have to pay for it.
Okay, great.
All right, this is a fun one. In the new action thriller from John Wick producer Thunder Road, Jared Butler is set to play a sniper who receives an anonymous threat over the radio and must race against a ticking clock in order to save his family and fans at the biggest sporting event on the globe, the World Cup. Black Bear is launching sales on the fun-sounding throwback movie at the upcoming Cannes market, where it joins a few other packages in the $70 to $80 million range. From a script by Aaron Benjamin and based on real-life operatives, the pick is being produced by Basil Einwick and Erica Lee at Thunder Road. Interestingly, it doesn't say who's going to direct it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with the synopsis and just Jared Butler. I'm going to go no invest.
It's called The Nest.
Cool.
Disappointed.
Good for them.
Black Bear and artist Equity have partnered on the dramatic feature A Woman in the Sun, starring Renee Zellweger and Sissy Spacek alongside rising star Mia Therapton. A Woman in the Sun follows a month in the life of Claire Keating, a bartender on Nantucket and part of the island's dwindling middle class. When her mother gets her sick and her daughter moves away, Claire's world cracks open. Both fragile and tough, Claire must reckon with her past and take ownership of her future. This multi-generational story explores the beauty, agony, and hilarity of loving others people deeply.
Partial invest? Mildly intriguing? Not a lot to grab onto still?
Renee Zellweger's not enough to hold on to.
I don't think.
What if I said it's Bridget Jones 5? What if the title was Bridget Jones
No.
5?
I'd be like, this is a weird direction for this series to head in, to be honest.
Why she moved to Nantucket?
Yeah, that would be
That's
a
fair.
choice.
That's fair. Cole Sprouse is set to join Catherine Newton and Storm Reed in Hot Year, the indie coming-of-age revenge thriller that was directed by Roxy Sophie Sorkin. Sorkin also wrote The Pick, and that also stars Dove Cameron, J. Smith Cameron, and Owen Painter. Set against the eerie backdrop of the small Pacific Northwest town during a relentless heatwave, Hot Year follows two childhood best friends whose bond is pushed to the brink after a revenge planned against an ex-boyfriend spirals into a violent incident they can't take back. Over the course of one feverish night, the pair must navigate the consequences of their action as buried trauma, loyalty, and identity collide.
Did you say someone?
Cole Sprouse, Storm
Cole
Reed,
Sprouse.
Catherine Newton.
Yep. Partial invest.
Vanessa Kirby and Lewis Pullman will star in The Spacesuit, a feature written and directed by Kitty Green. Handwen noted the film comes at a moment of renewed global focus on space exploration. Per the synopsis, it follows an astronaut who is forced to make an impossible decision after an incident with her co-pilot leaves an indelible stain on a mission in the days leading up to liftoff, setting off a tense race against the clock.
Full invest. Love a good space thriller. I like that cast.
It's a good pairing. Avengers and Materialist star Chris Evans is joining the crime thriller My Darling California, the next project from writer-director Elijah Bynum. As we told you last fall, the movie will star Jessica Chastain, Chris Pine, Mikey Madsen, Charles Melton, and John Cheadle. Set in Los Angeles 1980, film will chart how a small crime weaves together the lives of a TV host, his restless wife, a country music idol, two small-time crooks, and an ex-con, all of whom are chasing the promise of a better life.
Yeah, full invest. Sounds like that sort of multiple character angle thing. What do we call these types of movies? Yes, full invest.
Ensemble film.
No. Sounds like it's going to play off different character chapters, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's just how it sounds in my head.
All right, this one's for our good friend Nick Pryor. Patrick Schwarzenegger has joined the S. Craig Zahler movie, The Bookie and the Bruiser, in which he will star in a dual role opposite Vince Vaughn and Theo James. The Bookie and the Bruiser is set in 1959 New York City and features a pensive Jewish fellow named Rivner and an oversized Italian-American tough named Boscolo. Having served in World War II, the two return as changed men, no longer fitting into their old lives, unwilling to take orders or play by the rules of polite society. The two partner up as a bookmaker and his enforcer and run an illicit gambling operation that proves highly profitable but dangerous. The operation thrives until they're caught in a violent power struggle between the mafia and an Irish gang, forcing them into a violent fight for survival.
Yes, full invest, obviously. Sounds great. Cast, yep. Patrick was really good in White Lotus, and Keen. And obviously, not obviously because you haven't watched them, but all of S. Craig Zahler's films have been good so far.
Didn't I have to watch one of those for something?
I think you did you? There's the cowboy cannibal one,
I didn't watch
which
that.
you wouldn't have watched because it has a horrific scene in it that would make you turn in your sleep. Then you had the Vince Vaughn in the prison one, and then you had the Mel Gibson and Vince
No, maybe I
Vaughn
just
cop
heard
one.
you just to talk about it so much.
I reckon you just heard us talk about them, yeah.
Okay. That I felt viscerally like I watched it.
Also, I can't remember any of the film's names. All I can do is give you some sort of actor description of film.
Bone Tomahawk, Brawlin,
Cell
Cell
Block
Block
99.
99, and Dragged Across Concrete.
There we go.
Jenna Elfman is to play Stephen Fry's boss and handler in Fox drama series The Interrogator. Elfman, who recently starred in 3 seasons of AMC's Darkwind, is the latest star to join the series, which was handed a 12-episode straight-to-series order for the 26-27 season earlier this year. Fry plays a former MI6 agent, Comrade Henry. When conventional methods have failed, Henry's quirky charm, superior intellect, and mind-bending behavioral maneuvers make him the only man able to lockpick the minds of the world's most dangerous criminals.
That's intriguing. Yes. Full invest.
Yeah. Network television. After taking his time to figure out his next original feature would be, Ari Aster looks to have not only zeroed in on that project, but found another A-lister star in it. Sources tell Deadline that Aster is directing the pick Scapegoat from a script he penned and has Scarlett Johansson set to star. Insiders add that Aster will reunite with Paul, who has released his past 4 films as a distributor, as is the case with all Aster's films. Plot details are being kept under wraps.
Invest, sure. I haven't even watched
Eddington
yet. Still need to, but I mean, he's just a really interesting director and voice, so I'll still go full invest.
Oscar winner Brendan Fraser is set to star in the cosmic sci-fi thriller Starman from Emmy Award-winning writer and director John Wakely from his original screenplay. In Starman, Fraser will portray visionary technologist Tom Adams, an architect of the future, who launches a historic expedition to Mars, positioning himself at the forefront of humanity's next frontier. But when unforeseen events find him millions of miles from Earth, his mission becomes an unexpected and urgent race against time, driven not by survival alone, but by love.
Yeah, full invest. I mean, the Brendan Fraser comeback thing is
Still going strong.
I can't vote against it. So,
Two-time Oscar.
how many do you list up before when you do the segment? Like when you're sitting there working out
It's
which
how
one to
many
read out next.
As many ones that I think are interesting.
Okay.
And also depending
Sometimes
on
you
how much
get
actual
to
news I've got.
usually when you're getting to the end of this segment, and I can tell you're like trying to decide on the last 1 or 2. I'm like, how many is he scrolling through to decide?
I got 4 more. Put a number on it. 2-time Oscar winner Adrian Brody and Golden Globe winner Rachel Zegler have been set to star in Brazilian filmmaker and Cannes habitué Karim Anzou's father-daughter story Last Dance. Tony, Emmy, and Grammy winner Ben Platt will co-star and write original music for the film, and fresh off her Oliver-winning performance in Evita, Zegler will sing original music. Not a surprise when she's starring in the movie. Anyway, in Last Dance, celebrated Broadway composer Elliot invites his daughter Emma on a gay cruise through the Caribbean in 1991, a dazzling, liberating world of music, celebration, and chosen family where Emma, the only straight woman on board, experiences an unexpected first love with a young crew member. But beneath this joy and abandon, the AIDS crisis casts an ever-deepening shadow. As Elliot retreats from the devastating reality of his illness, father and daughter are forced to confront the unspoken truths between them. In the fleeting time they have left, can they rediscover each other before the music finally fades?
Yeah, full invest. I mean, music should be good at least, right? So
You would hope so.
you would hope so.
Sounds super depressing.
Yeah,
AIDS boat.
my favorite type of film.
All right, this is an interesting one. Will Patton is set to
Will Patton.
Will Patton is set as a lead opposite Matt Dillon in MGM Plus's upcoming drama series, The Magnificent Seven, from Heroes creator Tim Kring, a reimagining of the classic 1960s Western film. Patton, the Kevin Costner Horizon and American Saga, the star of Kevin Costner's Horizon American Saga movies, and Armageddon, joins the cast as ruthless Baron Cyrus T. Clemens to Dylan's Seven gunslinger leader, Chris Adams. While Dylan's Adams character was portrayed by Yul Brynner in the original 1960s films, Patton's Clemens character is new to the series. Clemens is confident, swaggering, and convinced of his own destiny in the 1880s America frontier set series. Before the Civil War, he was a humble music teacher, but after surviving the horrific battle of the Bloody Angle, he came out the other side realizing the world is made up of winners and losers, and he was bound and determined to come out on top no matter the cost. He eventually meets his wife Patrice, and they cross the country. The town of Clemens is meant to be his crowning glory, but to achieve that, he needs the land owned by a peaceful yet resolute group of Quakers. When they refuse to sell their land to Clemens and hire the Magnificent Seven to fight back, Clemens is forced to use his private army to drive them from their land. But the further his plans unravel, the more desperate Clemens becomes.
No
It's
invest.
interesting they wrote that from the perspective of the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm good without this.
What? You don't want a Magnificent Seven remake?
No, I'm good. Didn't they do one like with
Chris Pratt? I think so.
yeah. And how was that? Like maybe 10 years ago. So and it didn't do well. So here we are again. They just try again. That's what I'm talking about. They're like, no, that didn't do well.
We're in the era of Western television
Go
shows.
again. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Go watch the original.
Will Forte and Tiffany Haddish are set to star alongside Eric Andre in Synergy Systems, the action comedy we first reported in March that is launching sales at Cannes with Cenetic Media and WME Independent. Marking the feature directorial debut of Toby Harvard, a writer known for his titles like The Greasy Strangler, who will work from his own script. Synergy Systems is billed as a punk action-charged near-future thriller in which terminally indecisive data analyst Bemis uncovers that his employer, Synergy Systems, is a front for an apocalyptic doomsday plot. He's then forced to do the unthinkable, step up as humanity's last line of defense. The catch? He's spineless, spectacularly unqualified, and wildly unprepared to save the world.
You just said I've already forgot it, but there's some line you just said that was quite funny. What was it? Someone need to start there. Read the start again.
And I closed the tab.
No, all right. That's a rookie mistake. Okay.
That is a rookie mistake.
What if I needed some more information?
It's a punk action-charged near-future thriller in which terminally indecisive data analyst Bemis uncovers that his employer, Synergy Systems, is a front for an apocalyptic doomsday plot.
No, none of that. Must have been something else. Partial invest.
Will Forte and Tiffany Haddish.
Nah, that is funny, but no.
Oh, wait. The directorial debut of Toby Harvard, a writer known for his titles like The Greasy Strangler.
That's it. The Greasy Strangler. That was it. That was tickled my fancy.
Which is a 2016 horror film. Black horror film. Like black comedy horror film. In Britain. Doesn't star anybody I'm aware of. Produced by Elijah Wood, though.
Elijah Wood?
Anyway.
Would he wear hats, you reckon?
I think you would.
Would you wear hats?
All right, final one. Crazy a bit from 20 plus years ago. Still
holds up.
Still goes around the internet. All right. Imogen Poots and John Reynolds have been tapped to star as the leads of Sex Criminals, Prime Video's series adaptation of
Full invest.
Image Comics title that hails from Emily V. Gordon, Kumail Nanjiani, Sue Chan, Lucky Chaps, and Amazon MGM Studios. In the 8-episode Sex Criminals, co-created by Gordon, Nanjiani, and Chan, Suze is a normal girl with an extraordinary ability. When she has sex, she stops time. One night, she meets John, who has the same gift. So they do what any other sex-having, time-stopping couple would do. They rob banks.
I read the comic book series, was consistently surprised that they could keep coming up with plot for it after the initial
Premise.
6 issues. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the comic book. I always felt naughty reading it in public, however. So I'll be shocked how they choose to bring. I'm really intrigued to see how they choose to bring this to life, because it was the comic contained a lot of nudity and sex scenes, obviously. Slow motion cum, like all sorts of shit was happening in that, you know?
It's going to be straight up porn. It's on Prime.
Maybe.
Let's make it R-rated. I don't know. They got all kinds of crazy camera angles and stuff they can pull off these days.
They'll have to do something. It can't be as raunchy as the comic. It could be, but I just don't think it would.
It's unlikely. Yeah. All right. History. We'll have to wait to see how history judges Dylan's choices. Let's talk about something that's a little bit sooner, or some movies that are coming out a little bit sooner. In thumbs for trailers, of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to watch in the show notes below. Big week for trailers. Had to cut a lot to just bring it down to 5. There were some other trailers that I liked a lot that just did. There's too many.
Why do you stick to the rules for this segment, but then for other ones you just happily bend and change at free will?
Maybe I should have made an exception this week. You've given me the green light, so in the future, if we ever do more than 5,
I want to clarify. That's not a green light. I'm saying
that's what I heard.
I prefer to stick to the rules and regulations. But
Key things off, we've got Minions and Monsters, directed by Pierre Coffin, starring Pierre Coffin, Alison Janney, Christoph Waltz, Jeff Bridges, Jesse Eisenberg, Zoe Deutsch, Bobby Moynihan, Bill Lamar, and Trey Parker. Follows the Minions in 1920s Hollywood as they search for frightening creatures for their monster movie, partner with a green creature, and must save the planet from unleashing monsters. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Minions and Monsters?
double thumbs up. Looks like a good time. Obviously, we've just been going over Minions movies on Animated Wonders podcast. Check that out. Our animated series. I think getting rid of Gru and all that sort of stuff, and sort of just bring it back down to Minion stuff, and also going back in time more like in line with the first one. I like all that. Let's just get back to that nonsense. The little green creature they create, the little monster, whatever his name was, something silly. Looks to be a great time. Sell many a toys of him, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah. This looks really good. Like, I know there's been some other trailers, but this one kind of very much establishes the plot and premise of this film. Yeah, just being solely focused on the Minions and their hijinks in, old Hollywood, I think seems like a really good time. So I'm very excited to talk about this over on Animated Wonders, animated movie and film podcast, where we are currently doing a watch of, I believe, currently, I don't know if we're saying this too early, if they come out yet or not.
No, I can't remember. To be honest, if it's not, who knows? Look, currently, depending on the time and place, we're either talking about Despicable Me or Toy Story.
Yeah, we will definitely, there will definitely eventually be Despicable Me / Minions content on that podcast feed. Minions and Monsters comes to cinemas 25th of June. Next trailer, Cape Fear, developed by Nick and Tosca, starring Javier Bardem, Amy Adams, Patrick Wilson, and CCH Pounder. Max Cady, a vicious and unreformed ex-convict, is released from prison and sets about taking revenge on Tom and Anna Bowden, the married couple who represented him 17 years earlier in court by using his knowledge of the law to evade punishments. Dylan, what do you think of this TV adaptation of Cape Fear?
Double thumbs up. Looks amazing. I've only ever watched the Scorsese one. I haven't watched the original 60s one or whatever it was. Yeah, I haven't watched that one. So, but this looks just so much more intense, I think. Javier Bardem's performance and everything. So, and more modern. It's obviously been modernized for current times as well. So yeah, looks fantastic. I'm keen for this. Very, very keen for this.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. The Javier Bardem looks like he's doing the equivalent work to his work on No Country for Old Men. Like, fucking crazy villain. I mean, he was pretty good in, which one? He was Inspector. No, Skyfall. Skyfall's the one he's in.
Let the sky fall.
Great villain in that, but he is creepy in this. Definitely an incredible threat. Great to see Amy Adams back and stuff again. I think it's interesting that the other 2 versions he is like convicted of a rape, but in this it seems like he's convicted of a murder, so he's like convicted murderer. And whether that changes, whether that's a choice to be like, it's very weird to like accuse somebody of rape. Let's avoid that. Let's charge him with a murder. That's Let's change that
Also, I
element.
don't know. That's escaping from current manosphere
just avoid
type stuff.
all that stuff.
I don't know.
Killing someone, that's much cleaner. No bloodlines at killing somebody.
Yeah.
Normally. But yeah, looks really good. Cape Fear is coming to Apple TV Plus June 5th.
No. We just call it Apple TV now, I think. Didn't they drop the Plus?
I can't remember.
I think they dropped the Plus. I believe it's just Apple TV, which is sort of confusing because the whole reason they had Apple TV Plus was obviously because they have a media device called Apple TV. Now, but I believe I recall seeing them put out a press release.
TV. Okay.
Yep. And then they said, no, we understand that people will just be able to distinguish between that streaming box being also called Apple TV and the stream service called Apple TV. So now it's just Apple TV. I just want to make sure we're saying the correct thing. I don't want an Apple person to contact the podcast. And,
yes, Apple TV, formerly known as Apple TV Plus, according to Wikipedia. This seems like a dumb move. Unless they're like saving money on removing the Plus on stuff.
Don't know.
One less character they need to render.
So you've currently only got Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus or Paramount Plus?
Yeah, all the pluses are going out of.
It's the same as you don't say it's on Amazon.
No, it's Prime Video.
It's Prime Video.
It's HBO Max.
It's HBO Max. Yeah, currently. Who knows what tomorrow brings?
Who knows what tomorrow brings? All right. So yes, Cape Fear, Apple TV, June 5th. Next trailer is for Tony, directed by Matt Johnson, starring Dominic Sessa, Amelia Jones, Dagmara Dominitsvich, Rich Summer, Stavros Halkias, Tony Leo Woodall, and Antonio Banderas. In 1976, 19-year-old Anthony Bourdain wants to be a writer, but takes a summer job at a Cape Cod restaurant, learning under the tutelage of a Brazilian-born restaurateur. The trailer for Tony.
Double thumbs up. Looks great. Really keen. I remember when they announced this, I was like, that's interesting because it's not usually, Anthony Bourdain's not someone you'd expect to get a biographical film. I mean, he's not a rock star. He's not a movie star. He's not I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
I feel like maybe he's got a bigger profile in America just because maybe cable was such a bigger thing here than Foxtel. I don't know how much of the Food Channel stuff was over here. Or
I don't know.
His stuff was on HBO. I don't know.
Yeah, it's HBO. But that series,
Destination Unknown.
Was it Destination Unknown? It's like the thing is, it's and the reason I think a lot of people like Anthony Bourdain is because it's not like it's pitched as a cooking show, I guess, but it's not. It's a one man showing you how to appreciate life.
Yes, food is just an entry point to be able to talk about
food. Yeah, so he's a very interesting person. So yeah, keen for this.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. Dominic Sessa fan. I've enjoyed him in everything I've seen him in so far. Whether it's Holdovers or How You See Me, How You Don't, or even Oh What Fun. The little bit he's in that. He's a delight. Antonio Banderas looks really good. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really fantastic time. I've seen a lot of people who are fans of Anthony Bourdain online, like very happy about how the trailer looks and that kind of stuff. A lot of people also making jokes about the movie being at the Rivoli, which apparently is a reference to Nirvana, the band, the movie, which is the movie the director also directed. And I believe stars in. So wild. What a twist to go from that. So yeah, Tony is released in the US in August. There is currently no Australian release date. Next trailer, Evil Dead Burn, directed by Sebastian Venicic, starring Suhaila Yacob, Tandy Rice, Hunter Doohan, Lucianne Buchanan, Errol Shand, Maud Davey, and George Puller. Following the death of a mother's son, the family comes together in a secluded house. The gathering becomes a family reunion from hell as members gradually turn into deadites. Dylan, what did you think of the trailer for Evil Dead Burn?
Well, thumbs up. I'm very keen. It looks great. Looks wild. Fear of dishwashers now.
Yes. Yeah, new fear unlocked.
New fear unlocked, yeah.
You know? You're like, fuck one utensil being scary. Let's get a whole bunch.
Yep.
Just jam them straight into your back.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, as a trailer, 2 thumbs up. On my desire to watch, absolute 0. Uh, yeah, there's some creepy stuff.
Also, the line, what is it? She goes, "You have such a beautiful family."
Something like that before drinking the candle wax straight from the candle.
Candle wax, yeah,
Fucking
great
wild.
shit.
At least there's fucking fire. Do you know? I think if you're going to call the movie Evil Dead Burn, there needs to be a fire at least. You know what I mean? But yeah, looks terrifying. So thus, I have absolutely no interest.
I'm keen to see if it does have. Again, I've sort of talked about this, like, will it connect to other stuff before? There's a shot in it of like one of them like in a boat, like turning over and burning or whatever. I don't know if it's the exact same thing, but from the last movie, Evil Dead Rise, it starts with that, and then it's like never. It's sort of like this. You're seeing a glimpse of You're seeing the end of an Evil Dead night, and then we catch up with our characters. Now I'm like, I don't know, is this movie then the thing we didn't get to see in the last movie that leads to the Deadites getting to the city, which then get into stuff you would have never thought about? But anyway, I'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Evil Dead Burn is coming to cinemas 6th of August. Last trailer for this week. The Odyssey. Directed by Christopher Nolan. Starring Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, Zendaya, Charlize Theron, John Barenthal, Benny Safdie, John Leguizamo, Himesh Patel, Will Yun Lee, Mia Goth, Jimmy Gonzalez, Elliot Page, Bill Irwin, Samantha Morton, Jesse Garcia, Rafi Gavarin, Shiloh Fernandez, Corey Hawkins, Nick E. Tarabay, Maurice Compte, Michael Vlaumis, Idio Goldberg, Josh Stewart, Ryan Hurst, Anthony Molinari, Govind Adipo, Logan Marshall Green, James Raymer, Travis Scott, Sean Avery, and Ian Castleberg. The Odyssey follows Odysseus, the legendary Greek king of Ithaca, on his long and perilous journey home, following the Trojan War, chronicling his encounters with mythical beings such as the Cyclops, Polyphemus, Sirens, and the nymph Calypso, while attempting to reunite with his wife Penelope. What do you think of the latest trailer for The Odyssey?
3 thumbs up. Strap it to me in. Strap me in. Strap it up me in.
All of the above.
Let me sit on that bad boy. I'm keen. I'm ready. I'm seated. I've got my tickets. Obviously, I have my tickets nearly a year at this stage. So
yes. Yeah, 2 thumbs up from me. It looks really fantastic and like obviously a little bit of a departure from what we kind of expect from Christopher Nolan, just because it got that fantastical element to it. And like, he hasn't done anything sword and sandals-esque. I guess the closest thing to this would be Dunkirk, which I guess is a war movie. So, but yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. What are your thoughts on the criticism of the movie? Specifically,
thank you.
Robert Pattinson saying, "I'll be your daddy." The use of word "daddy" has inflamed the internet, and I find it very odd.
Let him be my daddy.
Why does every historical epic need to be in ye-old English? You know?
I'm fine with it. I've absolutely no problem. So whatever. I know people complain about the armor again. I saw and whatever else. There's creative choices here. Mm-hmm. Deal with it and watch it or don't. I don't care.
Yeah, the desire for historical accuracy in this movie.
A bunch of Cyclops and shit. I don't give a fuck. Get over it.
Why are there black people in this movie? It's in Greece.
Yeah.
Well, they're not speaking Greek. So from the start, it's wrong. So you might as well just go with what you want to do.
Nolan is not making a historical epic here. He's making
He's not doing a historical reenactment.
No.
This isn't Oppenheimer that's trying to be historically accurate to an extent. So, yeah, just the reactions around this as well is wild. But also, this is probably going to be one of the most talked about movies of the year. So that's to be expected. Every crumb that we get to see, I think, is being heavily scrutinized. And that's what is driving a lot of this online reaction. So, all right, The Odyssey is coming to cinemas 17th of July. All right, those are all the trailers for this week. Let's move on to this week's top 3.
Definitely in the Top 3.
And with the Punisher special presentation, Punisher, One Last Kill, coming to Disney Plus this week. This week's top 3.
That's the correct title.
Yes, finally nailed it down. This week's top 3 is top 3 MCU characters who should get a special presentation / TV special. I guess this is the third one. We had the Werewolf by Night, and then we had
the
holiday special, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and now the Punisher.
Yeah.
Who should get a TV 40 to an hour minute special about them? Dylan, what's number 3?
Squirrel Girl.
Hmm.
Don't know much about her. I know she looks cool and a bit of fun.
Okay.
I know it's comedy character, I think, from my understanding. So for something different, Squirrel Girl.
Okay. My number 3. Happy Hogan. What's he doing now that Iron Man's dead? What's he doing now that Aunt May is dead? You know? And he doesn't know who Peter Parker is? Like, what is the meaning of his life now? What is he? How's he making ends meet? You know, those are all the questions I want to know. Not a fan. Don't think this is a good one.
No, I'm not a fan.
Okay. Your loss. Dylan, what's your number 2?
Mr.
Mm.
Big horror movie one, I reckon. Experimenting on mutants and shit. Some fucked up shit. Do it in black and white as well. Who cares?
Okay. My number 2 is Jailing and the New Ten Rings. So obviously where we left off in Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi's sister has taken over the Ten Rings. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched those movies. Let's bridge the gap between where the next movie is going to pick up and that movie and like explore her crew and what they're doing as the new Ten Rings and how they're running things behind the scenes and that kind of stuff. If only for the excuse to have our boy Ronnie Chang back on Disney Plus in Marvel content. I think that's that could be a fun way to bridge the gap between the next film if that ever gets made. So that's my number 2. Dylan, what's your number 1?
Ghost Rider.
That's a good one.
I mean, out of all the characters that have been getting these sorts of things, and Ghost Rider has never really had a big success in film, and I think they generally just struggle to sustain a interesting plot for 90 minutes for that character. This confines and setup, I think, would suit Ghost Rider best.
I agree. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen because they're courting Ryan Gosling as hard as they possibly can to play Ghost Rider.
Means nothing to me. They can court and do all these talks and whatever.
Ghost Rider.
Talked about Blade for 20 years.
That's a good point.
Where's that at? Dead.
My number 1. Give us a Red Guardian special. Just 1 hour of Red Guardian going about his business. You know, you start off with a flashback to his days as when he was actually a strong superhero, his heyday, and you jump to the forward where he's just the annoying guy on the New Avengers. You know, that sounds like a good time.
2 of your picks are just characters we've already seen.
That's the thing. I was imagining you'd be pulling characters who are already in the MCU in the vein of Punisher. No, you've pitched all new characters who haven't been introduced yet. That's fine.
Yeah.
Again, it's me.
Just how my brain takes these.
To be on the same wavelength when I introduce these ideas.
I'm rarely ever.
Rarely ever. That's what makes it interesting. Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
This week, I would like to watch Mother Mary in cinemas, which is not showing at my cinema, but that's what I would like to watch, Mother Mary. And on the television, the aforementioned Punisher One Last Kill.
Yep. Okay. I'm keen to go see In the Grey, of course, which is you've probably forgotten, the Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, Isaac Gonzalez starring Guy Ritchie film, in which they play operatives stealing something.
17th version of Guy Ritchie characters we've seen in many of films.
Yes, pretty much. And then on the TV front, Good Omens is returning for one last episode that's meant to wrap everything up. I believe. It's called season 3, but I'm pretty sure it's only going to be one episode, which is
Yeah, they're just rushing that shit to the finish line.
yeah.
I'll still watch it, but they're watching that. They're with all the Neil Gaiman stuff and whatever. They're just
Yeah, one episode is what's listed. So what are you going to do? Yeah. Let us know what you want to watch this week by letting us know on social media by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us out at Explosion Network with all our other podcasts like Animated Wonders, all our other written content, head over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.